What name would that be?
Deathstalker, for those who don't know, obviously has this history from the 1980s, and there were multiple sequels. Did you have a deep history with that film?
I mean, I was well aware of it. I'm a big fan of Deathstalker 2 specifically. That movie is super fun. Growing up, like as a kid, because I was, a video store kid, I remember looking at the
Mhm.
covers and being fascinated by the Boris Vallejo art. A friend of mine, Kieran Morton, his older brother Mac would let him watch movies he should not be watching at an elementary school age, and so he'd seen Deathstalker, and I remember him describing scenes from it to me and being kind of freaked out and thinking like, "Oh, that sounds like a movie for adults. I shouldn't watch that." But then eventually tackling them as a teenager when I really like dived headfirst into genre movies. Yeah, watching all the Deathstalker movies and falling in love with the second one, specifically the Jim Wynorski one, which is super fun. Uh, so yeah, when this opportunity was presented to me, I was presented a list of Roger Corman properties to be that were up for optioning, and yeah, I went right down to D and was like, "I'll do Deathstalker, please," because I dabbled lightly in fantasy stuff before, like my ABCs of Death 2 segment, W's for Wish, is very He Man esque. And then we did a series called Goreblade back in the early Astron 6 days, which was actually a direct parody of Deathstalker. So I never made like a fantasy feature, and that was really appealing to me. So uh, yeah, when the opportunity came up, I was like, I can't pass this up. This seems like too fun of a sandbox to play around in. Like fantasy has always been near and dear to my heart, but not necessarily just in movie form, in like video game form. Uh, like playing Heretic and Hexen as a kid, playing Diablo, but also like TV shows, Hercules, Xena. I used to play Magic, and I wanted this movie to be an excuse for me to like kind of get out all of that pent up creativity that I got from uh, like all media, not just fantasy movies specific.
And then, Daniel has your lead. I mean, he's one of those guys that some people know his name very well, but if those who don't look at his IMDb, they'll be very impressed. How did he kind of become your Death Stalker?
I mean, I've always loved him. I've always thought he was super cool. Uh, I love the Bloodsport sequels. Mortal Kombat Conquest was the big thing that I knew him from. Then obviously like uh, Matrix Reloaded, John Wick, etc. But I was watching Bloodsport 4, The Dark Kumite, when this idea was all kind of starting to formulate and like kind of form into a real thing. And yeah, I just had the thought of like, oh, I should try to get this guy. It'd be interesting. And one of our producers had worked with him 20 years prior on a project, so he reached out. We hopped on a Zoom. We just started broing about movies, and I just most of the meeting was just me grilling him about like work on the Matrix and stuff like that. Like just I was just fanboying out, and I just wanted stories, and yeah, we just bonded really quickly. We're such like opposite personalities, but somehow when we're working, we just really like connect in a really fun way. Uh, I think we complement each other really nicely, and so yeah, it started this really wonderful working relationship with the two of us. Yeah, it's been really great, and I was not expecting it all. I kind of threw his name out, almost thinking like, oh, there's no way this will happen, and I'll have to cast some like local Canadian guy to play him. But yeah, the fact that we lined that up was really pretty serendipitous. I'm very happy that it worked out this way because he is the perfect Death Stalker to me.
He definitely is. And then, of course, I'm looking, behind you at these awesome examples of your work. But, creature design, it's obviously your background. It's something you are actively doing on your own film. So I'm curious in the development process, a chicken and the egg question, I guess. But as you're writing the script, at one point, are you also developing the creature design and thinking about exactly what these things are going to look like? Because obviously, this movie's filled with plenty of creatures.
I mean, in this case, for this movie specifically, I was sculpting the monsters while I was writing.
Wow.
I don't. Writing is not my favorite part of the filmmaking process, so I'll take any excuse to procrastinate. And how I procrastinate is I just do other work And so in this case, like the Dreadites, the like kind of stormtroopers for the main villain in the film, I sculpted that while I was writing the first draft of the script. There's characters called the Acolytes that are like these pulsing meat blob guys, like cultists. I sculpted those while I was still writing the script. Uh, but as I'm sculpting these things, it's kind of informing as I'm writing them because I'm kind of feeling out what these things are, what they can and can't do. It's like giving me ideas as I'm like physically putting them together.
Mhm.
So yeah, I never really commit to like make the monsters first, then write the script, or write the script, then make the monsters. I don't have a set process. I kind of like doing everything all at once though,
Mhm.
because I think it all just having everything jamming at the same time just keeps my imagination going and keeps the energy flowing. Uh, I do not like staring at just words on a page. It does not excite me.
Mhm.
So if I can have a bunch of physical stuff around that I'm also doing, it really turns on that part of my brain that gets the words flowing and gets the ideas coming.
I just saw this movie at Beyond Fest at American Cinematheque, and it played
Nice.
great. And I'm just, you make these movies, and obviously, they're going to appeal to people who kind of have sort of vibe the same way on certain things. So I know you couldn't be at that screening, but you heard about that screening. You've been at other screenings. What's it like seeing like, oh yeah, this is connecting with the people that we kind of rose up the same way or have that similar sensibility.
Yeah, I mean the Fantastic Fest screening I went to was very much that vibe where I've never had a screening where people were applauding after every big kill that happened.
Oh, wow.
That made me very happy. And I heard the screening last night at the Beyond Fest screening. People were just losing their shit at everything, which makes me very happy because I think it's the kind of movie a crowd's supposed to lose their shit at. There's lots of very wacky, wild things going on in this film, and it warrants a big crowd reaction. So it makes me very happy to hear that that's exactly what's happened.
The mighty Deathstalker!
I can definitely attest that they were definitely losing their shit many times, and it was super fun.
Awesome.
Uh, yeah, let me ask about Slash. I know that he is a big genre fan. He's done music for Halloween Horror Nights here in LA for many years. But how did you guys meet up? How did he end up contributing to the music in this film?
I mean, he has been associated with Rave Banner for a long time now. I know that he's a big genre fan and wants to get into making movies, and
Hmm.
so through Raven Banner, they were able to connect him to this project. And obviously, a guy like him has an affinity for 80s fantasy movies. So I think in the way that my imagination was triggered, I think his got triggered as well. And so he jumped into making us a theme song for the film, which ended up Blitz Berlin, our wonderful composers, actually took that song and put like there's bits of it sprinkled throughout the whole movie. So we really uh, got the most out of this song that was Slash and Bear McCreary, and he even got Chuck Sereno to come back and recompose the Deathstalker 2 score that he created for Jim Wynorski's Deathstalker 2. So yeah, I mean it was pretty crazy getting that email with like, oh, here's the song that Slash put together. I I didn't even really know that was happening until I got it. So it was a wonderful surprise, a really awesome just like addition to the movie. It just informs the personality of the project so well, and yeah, it was just really cool. Like similar to Daniel, getting Daniel Bernhardt to star as Deathstalker, getting Slash and Bear and Chuck to give me that theme song is like pretty wild. I think
Hmm.
that's a pretty big milestone for me as a filmmaker.
You're coming off Psycho Goreman and Frankie Frico, which technically I'm sure had so many obstacles themselves, but this feels bigger. Did it feel that way while you were making it?
Yeah, definitely my biggest movie to date, uh, and most ambitious, just in terms of what we're trying to pull off. Like it. it still is like a relatively small movie if you compare it to like Lord of the Rings, but compared to something like Frankie Frico or Psycho Goreman, yeah, it's giant. Uh, like we have full on battle scenes where there's like two armies fighting. Like there's big stuff done on a budget in this movie, and yes, all of it was difficult and at times, straight up hellish trying to get this done. But I'm not capable of making movies that aren't ambitious. That's the whole point to me is make the biggest thing you can possibly make and throw all your imagination at it. Like treat it like it's the last movie you're ever going to make and just go out with a bang. So yeah, I just couldn't help myself. I just had to add more monsters, more matte paintings, more miniatures, more stop motion, more action, more gore, more everything. Just make it all as big as possible. Because yeah, how often like am I going to get this opportunity? Like you really you got a chance to take a big swing, so that's what I did.
So I have to tell you, I am a Psycho Goreman mega fan, and last year I
Oh,
was
amazing.
wearing a Psycho Goreman T-shirt at a North Hollywood movie theater, and had a very funny experience where this girl started freaking out because her boyfriend apparently was wearing his Psycho Goreman shirt, but he was inside the theater. She's like, I
Amazing.
wanted to see you. I wanted to see you. We didn't meet up, unfortunately.
Well,
That
that makes me very happy.
Well, please, please, yeah, I guess you deserve it on the that movie. Like many movies, its release got affected by COVID, but clearly it has found its audience. How gratifying has it
Oh
been to
yeah.
sort of see the cult around that movie that it's just sort of grown through the years?
I want you to meet Psycho Goreman, or PG for short.
I will bathe in your blood.
Don't worry.
Be worried.
I mean, it's amazing and it's weird because I feel like while yes, it's got like a big audience, it's sort of happened with all my movies on some level. Like and that's what I love about my filmography is I go anywhere like a convention or screening or something, and when people come up after to get stuff signed, it's always like I'll get like one man board guy, I'll get a leprechaun guy, I'll get a void guy, I'll get a Psycho Goreman guy, I'll get a Frankie Frico guy, and now I'm going to get Deathstalker guys. It's like I love that I've made enough stuff that there's this variety for people to sink their teeth into and be like, oh, that's my movie. But yeah, I do love the audience for Psycho Goreman specifically is just such a fun crowd. I still feel like that movie in a lot of ways is my crowning achievement as a filmmaker because it's so true to my personality, start to finish, and yeah, I love the way it's connected with people. It's really awesome.
I rewatched it yesterday, and I believe there's an alternate universe out there where Nita won an Oscar because that's one of the greatest kid performances I've ever
Oh
seen.
yeah. Oh, she. There are moments in that movie that, and this is something that my process as a director, I really like to do is I just like to cast people that I can let go and just go to town on things, and that's exactly what Nita did. I just I let her be herself, and not to swing it all the way back to Deathstalker, but Deathstalker was exactly the same thing. Like I I wanted Daniel to be himself. Like very so much of Deathstalker as a character is Daniel and his personality, and and then you also have somebody like Nicholas Rice who plays Necromemnon, who is another case of like just letting somebody go and seeing what happens. But in his case, it's like letting a classically trained Shakespearean actor uh, see how much of the scenery he can chew completely to the ground before he has to take a break. And apparently, with him, he could just go endlessly. So, yeah, I mean, all my movies I've been very fortunate with my cast, and had a lot of fun with actors where I can just kind of back off and let them go to town and be crazy and give them little bits of steering here and there in directions that I want. But I'm not a fan of being like, this is exactly how you say it. This is exactly how you have to do it. Do what I tell you. It's more like, hey, let's all get together and have fun in this sandbox together and see what we can come up with. And I bring my stuff to the table, you bring your stuff to the table. Let's see what kind of crazy magic we can come up with.
Mhm. Well, I know we're about out of time, but I just have to commend you before I go on, contributing to one of the greatest slasher movie kills of all time within a violent nature. Everyone knows what scene I'm
Well,
talking
thank you.
to. You're very, very
Well,
welcome.
well, thank you. Yeah, again, team effort. Chris Nash very much spearheaded that whole concept and built a lot of the stuff himself. But yeah, a lot of us worked on getting that one specific gag to where it needed to be, and I love that it's become iconic. And having just come off the second movie, uh, I can confidently say that we're one-upping that kill probably a few times. So yeah, be
Well,
excited.
I am very excited. Congratulations on Deathstalker. It was great talking to you, Steve.
Thanks, man. Great talking to you too. We'll talk on the next one.